up, men, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
Hello and welcome everybody to Happiness Patrol. We are live. That's right, everybody. It is a special live edition of Happiness Patrol where we are talking about Mandalorian and Grogu. This is going to be so much fun. We finished our Star Wars season last month, technically this month, I suppose. But we had enough time. We all got to see Mandalorian and Grogu. So we wanted to bring this to you and chat with you guys. So if you're out there, by all means, put something in the chats. Tell us what you think, and we'll do the thing. Let's see who we've got here. We've got the whole regular crew. For those who are new, Happiness Patrol is a place where we've said we are sick and tired of the toxic fandoms. We want to do something that makes us enjoy ourselves. We want to talk about something that makes us happy. And so for our first season, that has been Star Wars. And we're closing that out with Mandalorian Grogu. And I'm joined with, as always, my cousin, Cameron. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm great. I two things. I got to see this movie with you, which was fun. That was fun to get together for a movie. And how dare they make a fun, unimportant Star Wars movie? How dare they?
Awful.
Yeah, no, happy to be here.
Excellent. And also from the other end of the province, it's raining everywhere in Alberta, but from not this studio, you'll notice I'm in Edmonton actually right now. I'm in Scott's studio. Scott's in his office.
Messing with my head. There he is.
Yep, exactly.
I can hear you from down the hall.
Yeah, I'm loud.
So like there's a 1 second delay between you talking, so the kazoo threw me off. I was like, whoa. So.
I can hear you too.
I could probably close the door, but the cats will get mad. So
yeah, no, I'm also loud. So
you're good. You're good.
All right, and who else do we have?
Star Wars film. That's unheard of.
Yeah,
they're all important. Just rank the significance.
Biblical. It's biblical.
Biblical. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of biblical, no, that's a terrible segue.
The Bible,
let's bring in the one and only Melanie Dean.
Hi. I'm glad I'm not the only person here that was kind of confused why Dave is standing or sitting in front of Scott's background without the use of green screens or anything else. I'm like, where's the pixel and whatnot? I'm like, that's the TV that the screen that's usually on.
Yeah.
And okay, different. Yeah, no, so board games behind Dave. It's all no.
Yeah, no, I had a birthday party in Edmonton, so I'm like, well, I will go up, I will do the thing, and then we'll do the show live from Edmonton and elsewhere, obviously. And we'll do Horses on Film once this is over as well. Not live, so it'll be a long day. We got Mark here, Cyborg. It is in fact raining up here. Yeah,
is it raining
down here too? We're having our nice tropical thunderstorms of summer, one after the other. Middle of the day, it's like sunny, 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 torrential downpour. So, I wonder if it's the same way for Jess.
Let's find out.
All right, let's see what Jess, if Jess is getting the rain. Hey, Jess.
Hey.
You getting the rain?
No rain yet.
No rain
I
yet.
think ours is supposed to hit later in the afternoon, as it does.
Excellent. We're already getting some comments here. Cyborg 100 Mark watching. He's going to be popping in just for a minute. He's going to be watching the film about 45 minutes.
Yay!
And I knew this was coming. Hashtag disappointed with Dave still not completing the Star Wars live action reviews. He is very upset that the Ewok films are still Star Wars.
All right. Well, maybe season 3 we can do.
Exactly.
I'd be into that.
I'm down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I take full responsibility for that. I had 12 spots. I kept the Ewoks out. I didn't keep the Ewoks out. I just left the Ewoks out because they worked out better.
Maybe we could do one episode like this, like a live bonus where we do both the Ewok movies in one shot or something.
Ewok.
Oh, my little Ewok just came in. Hi, buddy.
Trying to. Where are we streaming right now? Like live?
So we are live on Happiness Patrol's YouTube. We are also live on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS's YouTube. So I want to thank them for letting me crash the party. We're on my channel, therathole.ca, as well. Which is we got someone watching from there. We're also on Facebook. Theoretically, there's been some issues getting with connecting to Facebook on the back end here, but theoretically, we're on the rathole.ca, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and geekorama.net's Facebook pages, as well. The rathole.ca and the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS's Twitch pages. So we're all over. I went, you know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this big. We're gonna go out as many places as we can, and but if you are watching, from one of those other places, definitely stop by and check out our main page. Give us a subscribe, youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow, where we, if you go backwards, we talk Star Wars. Going forward, we're talking movies that make us happy, starting on this coming Thursday with Back to the Future. So it's going to be a great second season. I'm super excited about that, but we'll talk about that at the end. Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah. We all get to see it?
Yep.
Yeah, we all get to see it, which is great.
Makes the conversation a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier, exactly. I've chatted a bit with Scott, a little bit with Cam, because I saw it with Cam. But ladies, what did you guys think of the movie? Jess, what did you think?
I went in extremely excited, and I did come away quite a bit disappointed, just because I'm going to jump in real hot. Did we witness genocide and they brushed it off as nothing?
When?
At the very end, they showed tons of huts. This is one of the biggest hubs on Nal Hutta. And they go, we don't have jurisdiction here. And then at the end, they're like, bomb them all. And I'm like, we showed innocent huts when you came in that were not related necessarily or even doing anything bad. And at the very end, they kind of just bombed them all. And that felt very icky to me.
We bombed them all, even the women and the children.
Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, save the day!" And I'm like,
well,
we already killed the twin. Like the issues were dead. Why did we need to bomb the rest of them?
Well, I just kind of see it as
robots.
I saw it as a metaphor for the franchise.
I kind of saw it as just that this happened to be the twins where they were on Nal Hutta, and that was the main structure that had a lot of the droids, which I thought were freaking cool. That we know, so we know Rada's out of there, but Rada was the last of.
Yeah. You saw so many different rooms of different huts.
But I don't think all of the huts were there. I think that they're still going to be like on Nar Shaddaa and throughout that. This was just that particular family because they're already kind of talking about the family lines of Rada being the last one of the Jabba line.
They double crossed the like they had evidence that they had double crossed the New Republic and were lying to them about their connections with this crime lord. So I think it was wiping out a group of bad guys. I don't think it was just innocent huts.
Carpet bombing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can interpret it that way.
You got to break some eggs. Some eggs.
But at the same time, the ones that were the issues were already dead. And once again, the New Republic has no jurisdiction over Nar Shaddaa. Nar Shaddaa is independent, so they gave such a stink about not going to Mandalore because Maul was there during Siege of Mandalore. So why the heck are we stepping foot on Nar Shaddaa when you don't have any jurisdiction, and then you are going to bomb a good section of the species that has nothing to do with them? They're just a harem group. That just felt very politically charged in a very negative way to justify a lot of really bad stuff.
Jess is right.
But that was when,
I think Jess is 100% correct. That's why the First Order needs to happen. To bring order back to the galaxy.
I was just thinking that the New Republic was not doing a good job of managing this post-Empire galaxy. And that's why something like the First Order could rise up, or other factions that are, still hanging on to Imperial, the guy says in the opening scene, our life was better under the Empire. And I think there's a lot of people in this galaxy that would agree with him. Yeah.
This is right. Bring back the Empire. Bring back the First. No,
it just felt a little icky. Some of it did.
If we're going to have genocide, let's have Nazis too.
Make the Empire great again.
But Rada absolutely loved so much. I loved him so much. I do agree the voice didn't fit the body. I don't care. I loved the personality so much. I didn't care. I loved him, and I was like, I need a novel where him and Ahsoka work together to go fight off some baddies because I need her to reunite with Stinky.
I
need that novel, and I need E.K. Johnson to write it.
And then they showed up a photorealistic picture of saying, well, we haven't seen him forever, and this is what he looked like, and they made the CG version of when he was Stinky. when the twins showed, this is what he looks like.
Googled him on the HoloNet. I'm pretty sure if you Googled him on the HoloNet, he would have popped up since he was so famous on that planet. So that felt a little weird, but still loved him.
That planet might have been a bit of a dark world that doesn't really have connections outside of
True.
Because it felt everything there felt a little illegal, and I made a list of things I liked and things I didn't really like, and one of my few dislikes was anytime a Hutt spoke English. But has that maybe been established already in Clone Wars and Rebels? Like Hutts speak English? Okay, yeah. So I, maybe not being as attuned to those stories, I thought it felt kind of weird. You're right, the voice didn't quite match. But,
wait till you start hearing one sound like Truman Capote.
Oh, all right.
That made me feel. That's where I was like, Rhoda's fine in my book.
Yeah. Cool.
I couldn't think of the word. Bugs. The bug scene was weird.
When they were crawling on Mando,
right?
We should maybe say too. There's spoilers if you're
spoilers, everybody.
And we're gonna talk. We're probably not gonna hold back.
It's gonna be hard not to get into it.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a review, but no spoilers.
Yeah.
That really started with the end of the film.
But yeah,
sorry.
The bugs, creepy crawlies.
Oddly enough, I liked the bugs. I thought that was interesting because it was like, the planet is so alive with stuff that there's this like, we're about to eat this dude because if we don't, we will not have the opportunity. And the whole planet has this just like accelerated ecosystem-y thing going on. I had no problem with it. actually, oddly enough.
I like that too. I think Star Wars has always been about like living worlds, lived in kind of living worlds versus technological worlds. And anytime they're on a world where it feels alive and real, it's very Star Wars.
It's like magic versus tech. There's a video game called Arcanum. It's really good, actually, made by the guys who did create the Fallout universe. But there's this underlying theme of like, if you believe in magic, bullets don't hurt you. I don't believe in bullets. They do nothing. But magic does double to you. I really believe in fireballs. Boy. And then it's the other way around. I don't believe in that hokey mysticism stuff. So bullets do double damage to you and fireballs and whatever. But it works for like med packs and health potions. I don't believe in health potions. That's all.
Then they don't help you.
Yeah. And that Star Wars has always kind of had that, where it's just like the organic versus the inorganic. You see that a lot with the droids, and versus like Yoda goes and hides on a overly organic planet, right, with very little, like
lots of light.
Outside of a couple of technological things in his hut, there's really not, like, the X-wing is the biggest non-organic thing that is on that planet for the longest time, right?
I didn't have an issue with there being bugs. It was just the pacing that the bugs arrived felt droid-like. That was what I had an issue, is they almost felt program, like they didn't feel organic, which is kind of what felt, because it was just like, click, this has happened, everyone come out at the same time. And it was like, bugs should happen at different different species.
Yeah, there's sort of, I can't think of the move. Maybe it's Fifth Element, where like something breaks and then all the little droids come out and pick up all the little pieces.
Yeah.
Like they were on command.
And there was just, I didn't know if you guys had picked up, like, because it didn't feel organic. And I was like, something feels off. But now that you're talking about like, oh, it was very not this. And I was like, actually, I felt like they made it very droid-like, but then put organics as it, just because if you just observe nature, you're going to have certain bugs that are more timid than other bugs, and there's a hierarchy of, like, there's a bug hierarchy, I guess. And I didn't feel like it was adhered to. It was just like every species of bug all comes to the same place at the same pace, and it was like, these don't feel like real bugs to me.
It's because Mando is force sensitive, and so when he everyone's a Jedi in Star Wars. You realize this eventually, and then so also the bugs felt the force. So force.
You don't have to be force sensitive to be connected to the force.
What did you think?
Maybe the bugs are force sensitive.
It's Oprah, and now you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
You're a Jedi. Like Order 66 was actually just the number of them they killed. There's 6,000 of them. They only got 66 of them.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch like Clone Wars or read whatever, they're like, or like the Acolyte, just everything. They're like, and that's a Jedi. And they're just, they were stowed away behind the other one. This one was actually only 3 Jedis, like 3 tiny Yoda-sized Jedis in a trench coat, and they only killed the top one, so the other 2 are still fine. Like it's one of the few things when you get Star Wars. Star Wars is really weird. I have the feed on the other thing, so I watch myself in like a slight
creepy
chat. But Star Wars has done this thing where it doesn't really trust its world building anymore. Where it's just when anyone needs something to like happen, they just do it. They don't like, like Order 66 was supposed to reset and do all this stuff, and whatever. But like it's but we need Deus Ex Machina here, get us a Jedi. Like it's
I mean, it's a big galaxy. To imagine that one sweeping moment, killed everyone is silly. But then also there's this big thing that I think people get locked into okay, if you're a Force user, you're a Jedi, or like Grogu went to train to be a Jedi, he's a Jedi, and it's like, well, no, like you can still be force sensitive. You can still use force powers without subscribing to, you know, one of the two.
I mean, that was the biggest thing
actions.
with the complaints about Acolyte is everyone's like, they said he's a Sith, so Ki-Adi-Mundi lied. And I was like, he literally says, I am not a Sith.
Yeah.
He was like, I just follow the dark side. I'm not a Sith.
Right.
But the best word you have for me is a Sith. And I'm like, he's insulting the Jedi. But all the fan base was like, well, Ki-Adi-Mundi said there hasn't been a Sith, and he's a Sith. And I'm like,
you know, yeah.
It's in the lines. He even
speaking
says
of toxic fans, I think there is a little thing right now going on with, like, because all this stuff is Disney and because it's been handed over into the Disney corporate world, everyone's so wrapped up in the persona of Disney being a corporate entity behind every decision. And I very rarely jump into online discourse, but I was on Threads and I did see this thing where somebody was like, oh yeah, I forgot that they brought force healing into the live action with Grogu so that they could justify it with Rey in Rise of Skywalker a few weeks later and all this stuff. And I just kind of, I'm like, I gotta say something like, literally Obi-Wan force heals Luke in A New Hope after he gets knocked out by the Sand People. Like people are so like entrenched in these corporate decisions. It's maybe the only fault of the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney is that now everything is like a Taylor Swift lyric where everybody needs to dissect into what executive was in charge at this moment and what filmmaker was brought in for this project that was then announced and never happened, and everyone's so like entangled in the executive drama of Star Wars that they forgot to just enjoy the movies or not enjoy them. Like, it's always been, you're right, as a fan, you know, to draw your line. Like I always say, you know, when we only had 3 movies, people drew a line before Jedi and they said, we like everything except for the teddy bear movie. And then now, you know, people lump it all together as like, well, the original trilogy is the Bible and I don't like this stuff. And it's, you know, you're allowed to not like it. The more content there is, the more there is something for everyone. And maybe this isn't for you, or that's not for you, or maybe you like it all. It's, you know, you can be a fan of a sports team and watch them miss the playoffs 10 years in a row. It is what it is.
That's a Calgary fan right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can watch them go to the finals and lose. You can get excited about something, and then it all falls apart. It's not the end of the journey. You're still a fan of that team anyway. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm probably the more negative one out of all of us overall. But first off, number one, you're not allowed to call them sand people anymore. Number two, it's Disney has given us.
That's our word.
That's our word. Disney has given us the best Star Wars. Legitimately, hands down.
Would you trade
Rogue One, best Star Wars?
Would you trade Andor for a world where Disney never had control?
No, I have no problem with Disney owning Star Wars.
No,
legitimately have no. It's never been an issue. The Star Wars is a really unique franchise because from moment one it was merchandised. So whatever Disney was going to get out of it, it had already been done. Like it's just the money. All honestly, I see the acquisition of Star Wars of, hey, the box office goes to this account now, not this account. Like it's just like I don't. If anything, what Disney has done is, you're correct, is really put in the money behind it to have the Galaxy's Edge, to have the hotel, to have all this like stuff and expand that way. That is the Disney stuff, and like that's what Disney does. Just they have parks and cruises and all the other stuff. Like,
and this is a fun little adventure. If we end up with a Mandalorian and Grogu ride at Galaxy's Edge, we're a better society, because
it's already been overlaid in Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, exactly.
I
want to jump in the Falcon and go off with Grogu.
What this film has shown me, though, is continually the thing that disappoints me most about Star Wars is Jedi. And
there's no lightsabers in this.
There's no lightsabers. There's no lightsabers in Andor. There's no lightsabers in Rogue One. Jedi are the worst part of Star Wars. Like, it just continues to, in my opinion, and I've been the one that I just want wars in the stars. Just give me that. Like, it's that simple. On Happiness Patrol, we're about to do TMNT. When Michael Bay said he was redoing it was going to be aliens, everyone went, no, we need 4 things from this thing. They need to be teenage, they need to be mutant, they need to be ninjas, and they need to be turtles.
And we got those
things. I'm pretty okay.
We got a turtle spaceship in this movie. There was
that was cool. It's like I actually did.
That was very cool.
The legs like moved. Like there was logistics to it. And the first like 15-20 minutes of this film is freaking awesome. Like, I legitimately, like, when Mando is pulling John Wick, I was like, I'm so in for this.
Yeah, it was Batman. I felt like Batman.
I thought it was the beginning of Captain America, though. The Nazis were in the same place as Red Skull.
I'm
not criticizing it, but I was like, oh, that's where Bucky fell.
No.
You know, like
it reminded me of the train heist from Solo.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
He's sitting behind
that scene too.
You know, like, you have to give me more money to protect you. And the minute anything comes at him, is like, you're on your own. Like,
I love when they drop the weapons and just pointed.
Yeah. It was so like, just like how quickly that this protection fell real fast.
Yeah.
Like I was like, and they're all like, what are we even getting? You're like, they're robbing our ships. You're whatever. You're robbing us. Like, let's be honest here. And he's like, oh, I'm number one. Oh no, you're number one. I gotta go. Like it's just like, I actually legitimately, I loved seeing the AT-ATs back. I actually, in the ATRT was kind of cool. Like the little I'm in for this.
Running down the mountain.
I actually think the worst part of this film is the huts. It ended up being my fears that it's either the most expensive TV show I've ever seen or the least expensive film I've ever seen. It's
interesting when they do like the Jetsons the movie, or when you go from the TV show to the movie, the Simpsons movie, it usually kind of like looks and feels and sounds a little different, where you go to the Simpsons movie and it feels like just that extra layer of like cinematic, and I felt like this didn't, and if you ever had an argument against The Mandalorian as a show, although I think season 1 is great, it becomes a little bit too much of here's your favorite Clone Wars characters, and once they get into the creed of the Mandalorians,
Filoni effect.
Yeah. Once it gets Filoni'd a little too much, it maybe isn't great. But if you ever had an argument about the Mandalorian show, it's that they're in the void. They're in this little projection.
Really feels it though. That's just it.
And I was kind of half expecting this movie to feel so out of the void. I thought, it's going to be Mandalorian for the big screen. We're going to be out of the void in a big way. We're going to be out in these big outdoor, real locations, Andor style, or we're going to be in Tunisia, like like a Star Wars movie. And it didn't really feel that way, but it's not bad. Being consistently Mandalorian and Grogu is not a bad thing. And I actually think it, for all the episodic TV it looked, it was good. It was a fun, good little TV adventure.
The Simpsons never felt like 4 episodes glued together. This did. And you can even see where each episode stopped and began again.
I've seen that argument that this is too episodic to be a feature film. And all I can say to that is literally 9 Star Wars movies have the word episode in the title.
Yeah, but they're not 2-hour episodes. This was literally 4 episodes glued together. You can actually see the cut lines.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not the end of the world though. That it's
like the cliffhanger was.
I mean, that's what the Clone Wars movie is.
Well, and it's so interesting because like we both observed very similar things in that, but you found enjoyment from it, whereas I actually found criticism for it of like, if you're going to say like this is the film, like usually that means like this is the end, like something is going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. A moment. And there's gonna be a moment.
There's going to be a moment. And it didn't feel like any of this was that moment. Especially, I felt really bad. The two people I went to go watch it with both fell asleep on both sides of me in the middle of it. And I like,
oh no.
I was like, oh,
Dave, the guy behind us fell asleep too.
They both fell asleep. And I was looking from left to right, and I was like, oh, I'm the only one awake here. Which the pacing of it, I wouldn't have minded for an episode. We've had episodes like that, but because of that, it felt so disjointed that to go from like bam, 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 sleep, bam, 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 it didn't flow. And then with that being said, the first season of Mandalorian, and I'm only saying this because I just did a rewatch of it, and I didn't make it through the third season. Third season feels so disjointed. This at least felt somewhat more connected than the third season to me. However, it didn't feel connected to the first season. The first season really does feel like an old Western.
Right.
And I don't feel like this film, so for it to be said like, oh, this was true to it. It didn't feel true to it, and it also didn't feel epic. So I'm like, which it didn't.
What is it then? Yeah.
It didn't fall into either category. So if they had gone back to their roots and had played this as like the most Westerny, very similar to the season 1 that we had, I would have been more okay with it. And if they had done something epic to be like, this is the film, then I would have been okay with it. But because they kind of didn't find their footing in either ground, I was kind of sitting there like, why am I here? If it were a TV show sitting at home and I already have my subscription to Disney Plus, I'd be like, oh, okay, this was fun. This was cute. Like, this was good. But for me to like make an effort to go to the cinema, I did expect something. And I didn't necessarily get that. And that for me felt... I was sad. I wasn't disappointed. Like, well, I was disappointed, but I was more sad than like angry of like, this movie sucked. I was like, they had such a good opportunity to like really do something here. And I feel like they just didn't. And I'm just kind of disappointed by it, if that makes sense.
I had that exact point on my list of likes, which is so strange. Maybe it's ass backwards, but the idea that there was no moment, Grogu didn't speak for the first time, nothing like epic.
Which happened. I'm okay with that if they don't earn it, but I want an earned payoff, if that makes sense.
Explain to me why this couldn't just be a Disney Plus film.
Because it's been 7 years since the.
So that's the Disney of it.
Since the Star Wars has been in the theaters, and we want to go to the theater to watch a Star Wars.
If you want to poop on Disney's involvement, it would be that. Your justification for this film is the bottom line.
It's a little like Toy Story. Toy Story, you have 1, 2, 3. It's this brilliant trilogy of brilliant, beautiful, touching, amazing movies. And then the thing I liked about Toy Story 4 was that it was just kind of a throwaway little story. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what Toy Story can be now. I wish they wouldn't have called it Toy Story 4. I wish they would have called it, The Adventures in Antiques or whatever, Woody's Adventure, or just give it some subtitle other than a number 4. So basically, I think what they're saying is if they wanted to do season 4, season 5, season 6 of Mandalorian, it would be, hundreds of millions of dollars and too many episodes and too much filler. I think what they're saying is now, look, we have the TV show. It exists. It'll exist forever. Now you're going to get these little movie adventures where it's 100 minutes of an adventure Mandalorian's in it, Grogu's in it. We're going to continue the story. This is what the Mandalorian is now. And if they never do another movie, I think then this could be considered not important enough to be part of the world. But if they just kind of come back and do these every 3 years, every 5 years, every 10 years, it's like, okay, great. You know, now that's what we're getting now out of this character. And I love it. That's all I was saying about, like, there was no moment in it. And that might be, thank God, you know, because if they tried to
said it in the game,
I'm glad there wasn't a moment that wasn't earned.
Right. Yeah. If they tried to shoehorn in a moment.
But shoehorning in a moment, I would have been worse.
It would have been disaster.
Than this.
Yeah.
I think you said it really well at the beginning, Cam.
Yeah.
Where you said, this is just a nice, inoffensive, unimportant Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things I liked about it. It felt smaller. It was definitely bigger because it's still space. It's still wars in stars. But there wasn't the big giant world-ending stakes that we get in a lot of Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that. I appreciated that.
Whose fault is that? You
can't have every movie be super important.
Not every movie has to be a blockbuster.
No.
My social contract is I'm going to pay $15. You make money. I get entertained for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah,
that's all I need, and that's all I got, and I'm happy.
But my criticism of that is I'm okay with something being not important, but I would like for it to feel like the Western that it started as. If they're going to do that, especially because of the promo material, we can see the promo poster, they gave it a classic old movie vibe, but the content of it didn't feel that way. And so for me, it felt disconnected and disjointed. And that's why it kind of felt more pointless, because I don't need it to be a blockbuster, but I need it to be either like going back to its roots and like living up to the posters that it set of like, we're just going to have a good old like Western fun time. And it wasn't that, and it wasn't a big blockbuster. So it didn't feel like it fit as much.
I wonder what would have happened if they had treated Solo like this. If the Solo movie, or if they, if Solo didn't exist as it exists, and it was just Han and Chewie on an adventure. A lot of people, that's what they wanted. They wanted just, can't we just see Han and Chewie on a smuggler adventure? I don't need to see his origin. I don't need to see the Kessel Run. I don't need to see all these things. Why can't we just get Han and Chewie fighting the Hutts? And I almost wonder, did they take that feedback and go, oh, well, here's Mando and Grogu fighting the Hutts on an adventure. And the end is they rocket off into space and it's over.
Okay, but the problem with this whole argument is the people who told me that Star Wars in theaters is special, I need to go see it, was the marketing department. Mm-hmm. The people who told me that when Star Wars goes into theaters, it's a big deal. Hence,
but what I'm saying is, it doesn't,
Star Wars.
It doesn't have to be.
You can't say that. They continually say that.
I don't know. Maybe
people who the call is coming from inside the room. Like it's not like it's. You just started with when it goes to the screen, it's a big deal. When The Simpsons, whatever, it's cool. And then you can't be like when some criticism comes this way to be like, it's just small. It doesn't matter. I know.
Well,
I know that. I remember the small movie, The Phantom Menace. They didn't talk about that one at all. It wasn't a big deal, and no one lined up for that one. Like the problem is that Star Wars has gotten so big and maybe up its own butt that. The minute anything happens, it's like, hence why if this was on Disney Plus, we'd be having a very different conversation, incredibly different. This could be, honestly, this was a Disney Plus film that they thought they could squeeze something out of, and which is fine. The cynicism of the Disney side of owning Star Wars is Mandalorian Grogu, like it's literally there. Explain to me why this couldn't be. What about this film?
It gave this could have been an email.
Yes.
Someone even said nothing. The whole movie could have been an email, because even going to see the Hutts,
And
finding there's
it's not my fault. I have expectations.
But part of my criticism is he didn't gunsling. He was a sniper. We haven't seen him be a sniper ever. And I think this is where my criticism towards like the lack of Western feel is. There was, I think, only one moment where he has like a sharp shoot, but for the most part, he has a big, long, like scope rifle, and it just...
No, he only used that during...
He used it 3 times.
I mean,
but towards the end.
The AT-AT intro was more gunslinger.
Yeah, the intro going to go get the first guy, that was all his pistol. The second part when he was going in to go get coin and then fight, then when he went into there, he had his pistol. Mm-hmm. Then he didn't have any weapons when he was fighting Rhoda.
But there wasn't as much. I'm talking
then when he was finding
quick draws. Because in every single season we've had him have a standoff quick draw with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And that
definitely could have been more Western. I would have loved that.
That's where I felt we lost some of our roots, if that makes sense. Because like he did have the pistol, he did use it, but his highlight moments were not with his gun. They were like, oh yeah, it's a blaster. Everyone uses a blaster. It felt very unimportant. Whereas in rewatching the series, there is so many like moments where I think it's even in the episode with him finding Ahsoka for the first time. It's him and the other guy, and they have a straight up standoff. And then you've got, the Cobb Vanth, like there's just so many good Western feeling moments.
Did you like what was his name? Embo, the bounty hunter?
Both fights with Embo were amazing.
Kind of that
but
kind of samurai.
He felt more Western than Mando did.
I felt more samurai that entire time. I was getting samurai kind of fighting.
Oh, I got
because
samurai, but even because with that samurai, it felt more. That's
because Mando was unarmed.
Yeah. But that would have been a great moment to have Mando kind of counter that, because who doesn't want a samurai cowboy standoff?
I'll say my favorite aspect of this movie, the thing that I think will last the longest in my world, was the score. I thought, Ludwig Göransson, you son of a bitch, you did it again. And hearing the kind of classic Mandalorian stuff come in, but some of the new stuff, the moments where it got kind of electric on Martin Scorsese's Little Planet. I thought the score was the MVP of this movie. And maybe that's what takes it from the television screen to the big screen, when you have an Oscar-winning, brilliant, top of his game composer bringing it at full tilt. That was very much the MVP in my opinion.
For me, I'm gonna be different and top that one. It's bringing Tippett Studios to give me stop motion.
Those
I was so the scream. I scrumped when every time I realized, I went, nope, that's Tippett, that's stop motion. I would just freaking go off on that, and especially towards the end.
Reminded me a little of Labyrinth too. Like there was kind of that Labyrinth kind of robot at the gate.
Yep.
Yeah, and they established him. They established him when he first went to see the huts. You could see them just kind of built into the architecture. And then when he goes back, and they just come out, and then even Grogu goes inside, much like the little goblin inside Labyrinth. And I thought that was a brilliant nod. That was really cool. It was on my list of things I enjoyed. And then the fact that those robots were kind of relentless, and I guess maybe part of the reason why I keep wanting to call them the New Republic did bomb, because those robots were still kind of a problem. They were breaking through and stuff. I really let's hope in our hearts of hearts that the innocent Hutts went into the mud and escaped before the bomb.
I love that they reused so many Clone War era separatist droids, and that it wasn't just cool. And that anytime any of them had to fight, anytime like Mando had to fight, or anybody else had to fight a super battle droid, it was multiple shots that had to take it down. So even if it was If it was like a B1 droid,
Yeah.
and that, you know, a normal battle droid, you know, that one, or even the commando droids took a couple more if they had like the head of one or another. But if it was a super battle droid, like the big,
you could tell they had been.
You had to hit like it was 9 shots that had to take that thing down, which I always just like chef's kiss. But I also like that
can't forget
they kept changing the heads
robots
too.
that killed his parents too. Right?
Yes. No. And that they had different heads also. So there was at one point when they were holed up and in the twins kind of area in that little kind of throne room, let's call it. That there was one droid that I think was a commando body, but had a K2SO kind of style, that one of those K2 heads. And then you had all the different that part. And then they also kind of had like that Enfys Nest kind of vibe with the different like the cloaks and all that kind of stuff. That was it
had a lot of personality, a lot more personality than I would have expected out of this movie. That was really cool. I'll say something I didn't like. I didn't like the fight in the water with the Amani.
The Amani.
Amani, I mean, mostly just because, again, you know, I don't like water. But it was scary in a way I didn't love. But I did kind of like the idea that he was poisoned. Yeah. I would have liked to see more of a, you know, sweaty, hallucinogenic POV kind of moment before he collapsed. And I loved that the Babu Frick guys had got a little adventure with Grogu. I loved that their ship was too small. That was hilarious.
Did you catch that in the beginning? It wasn't that ship, but it was like their like little transport speeder one it made the sound from the Jetsons. And then it stopped the same way. They lifted that from the Jetsons. I was like,
I love it. Yeah, you know, and it's so funny that like Star Wars, everything is kind of human sized, you know. Yeah. And I always kind of remarked when I was a kid that the Jawas were these little tiny things, but I thought it was hilarious that they had this giant battle tank, you know, for these little Jawas to be in, and it makes sense. Like it's clever in a different way. But I love that. What are they called? Azalians. I love that they were like, well, we're this big, so our ship is this big. It's hilarious to me. It's
great. Or even when Grogu's making the little mound he's like, I'm gonna make a little mud hut and I'm gonna protect my papa and I'm gonna use the force push to go dunk.
And then he goes, the only genuine laugh in the theater. Yeah, the only time I really heard like a laugh in the theater was that moment, and and it maybe is also kind of sweet that like that like Yoda and Yaddle and Grogu are maybe a little bit like beavers, where like they have this natural instinct to make like little mud huts, and the fact that it looked just like Yoda's hut was kind of sweet in a way I never would have expected. And
I love the idea of the Deseret match, though.
I must have been in the best theater in the world, because everybody lost their freaking minds when that happened.
That's brilliant. And I'm like, I need more. I need to watch this. Also, I'm really excited because steel weapons are now canon in Star Wars.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I may or may not work with people who work with steel weapons. And I'm like, Star Wars, steel weapons, because the clinks are clinking. But
I mean, the Gamorrean guard.
I did enjoy a lot of the arena stuff.
Yeah, the Gamorrean guards always had those axes too, which the Chuck axe, which was cool. And I really feel like a lot of the hot coded stuff was really fun and interesting. And that battle on the big chessboard was rad. Like. Perfect.
Seeing Rada move, I thought was really the ingenuity of that, of where he drags, where he just rolls, where he just flips with his tail.
His arms freaked me out a little. That freaked me out. It was a little bit like the steroid Olympics from SNL or something. But it is what it is, I guess.
I do feel like they didn't know how to make him fight better. Because when you see him fight in that match, I'm like, how did you win all these other matches? I almost wish he had done a thing where because he does the death roll, but I'm like, why aren't you grabbing someone's feet and death rolling so their heads are smacking the ground? Like, that was logical, and that never happened. But I'm obviously going to be very in tune with the fight choreography, because that's what I do.
Right.
My
son
but
told me that
was
involved...
one thing, is I felt like they didn't know how a slug would actually fight, and they had the idea that he's going to be a good fighter, but then when they had to show it, they were like,
see, I'm more in tune. In tuned and flopping around on a beach, so that part made me just go, "That's what I would do." Just playing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son
Although you're
told me
telling me
that
Sigourney Weaver's character didn't look out the window and just see him there after she's
that
like,
part
where
of, like,
is he?
No, you know, small,
like,
huge hut.
He's just
big.
like right there.
He's like right
the
back
beach
here behind
whale. He's right there.
Yeah, my son mentioned that they involved Robert Irwin in some of the creature stuff, who's Steve Irwin's son. And so for like the dragon, which was actually really cool. There was something kind of Ralph McQuarrie about that snake, dragon snake thing. I really did like it. I just didn't like that he was underwater when he was fighting. It felt like Mando wouldn't have lasted a second in that fight. But and then I think, you know, some of that like death roll crocodile behavior maybe was influenced by, you know, Robert Irwin's input. Maybe, I don't know. I could see that.
Probably.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. I liked Grogu surviving on his own. You know, there's all this idea. Even I think Ahsoka tells him in one of the seasons, like, you're gonna outlive Mando. Like, Mando's gonna be a little blip in your overall existence. So, you know, be with him when you can and learn from him what you can, kind of thing. So I think I like the idea that, like, okay, Grogu's pretty good on his own. I'll say something I really didn't like angered me a little bit was whenever Mando told him to heal. Like,
I didn't like that.
Like a dog.
He was like, heal. I'm like, he ain't your pet.
He's your son. He's your child. I thought,
kid heal. You're like, hey, come here.
That blew my mind. I
didn't in there as a meta commentary to the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, maybe they should heal a little too. Maybe we're all healing in this process. And Zeb is a Rebels character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I felt like if you're gonna have him there, have him do something cool. And he did nothing cool. There was a little bit of like we've retconned the Razor Crest getting destroyed. Here's a Razor Crest as payment. Okay.
That part I was like, I did really like seeing Zeb going through the tunnel and fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, where's Callus?
I think he was wearing Callus's jacket. Thank you very much.
Where's his boyfriend?
Callus? Who's
his
Callus?
boyfriend?
Callus, Rebels.
Boyfriend.
Oh, I think that's what I think that was the leather jacket he was wearing. But anyway.
Maybe he's dead.
One criticism I will have, not that I haven't had any others. The Dave cameo felt so forced.
Oh, sure.
And inorganic.
Yeah, every time they got the directors in and you know, all the Rebel pilots or the Alliance pilots are like in their 60s.
I didn't mind Dave's original in the first, but having the focus go from like, oh, these other people, let's focus on Dave in a hat.
He might as well have had the headphones on sitting at Video Village. Like, he wasn't even in a costume.
Yeah. And I was like, I feel like you didn't earn it. Like, because it feels like it takes away from like the cameos we got in Rise of Skywalker of like Mark Hamill and John Williams. And I'm like, you get to be put in these when you're a legend. Like, when you have like lived your life and it is a way to honor you, not an indulgence for yourself.
You're not Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, and that's what felt icky to me, is like, I'm not saying he's not earning it currently, but it feels self-indulgent, not...
Well, yeah, because they put Rick and Deborah in there all the time too.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's great, it's fun, but
but don't make it the focus.
Don't make it the
background.
Don't make us care about it. We don't want to have to care about it.
Yeah.
Although I think
I understand seeing him in the ship because we've seen him before, and I didn't mind that first cameo in the ship because it's brief and he's in character. But in this one, he was not in character. He was just Dave sitting on the set, and I was like, "That."
Yeah, I saw Anthony Daniels was somewhere in there, but I didn't catch.
He's on the cast list on IMDb. I think he's Another thing I really liked was that kind of Top Gun intro. I loved that there was opening credits, which again, I mean, famously, George got in a massive fight with the Directors Guild of America for not having front credits. He ended up having to leave
the guild,
the DGA. It caused a big riff. He had to pay all the fines for Irving Kershner and all this stuff so that he wouldn't get kicked out. Like it was a big kind of contentious point of the original Star Wars. All those rules have changed, so they got away with it on the sequels because those rules are kind of antiquated now. But I love that they're like, okay, well, this is a different thing. And you get this sense that when it's this like Top Gun intro with everybody running around the base, you know, fueling up the X-Wings and doing all this stuff. And I think that's where Anthony Daniels in. It's somewhere where they're loading a droid into a ship and he's the guy on.
They said that he's credited being a air traffic control droid.
Oh, okay. So maybe
because I noticed that in the credits when I was looking, I saw his name, and then that's also when I saw the Tippett Studio there, and I was smacking my husband's arm like, I knew it, I freaking knew it. Yeah. I'm a credit watcher.
But yeah, I mean, there was French Connection moments, there was Batman moments, there was Solo moments. You know, obviously a lot of mafiosa stuff came into it. I enjoyed Martin Scorsese. I thought that sandwich he grilled up looked delicious. Maybe we were just hungry, Dave. We should have eaten before. But he's the Ardenian. Yeah, he's the Ardenian with the arms I just every now and then I saw, okay, this is their influence, that's their influence. I see it. That the race through under the train tracks to try to catch Jabba. That I really kind of thought it was cool that mansion that they went into and all the stormtroopers. Anytime someone, you know, where our heroes get to shoot stormtroopers on the biggest screen we can see it on.
I wish that had been the end. I wish that had been our whole journey, was trying to find that guy and he met him at the beginning. Or take that section and after you've rescued Rhoda the Hutt and all this stuff, then it's like, oh, well, we still have to get this mystery bad guy in this deck of cards. Because I could have seen it where like Rhoda's like, no, I have more intel, let me help you find this guy, and like Rhoda doesn't even know, and
it would have felt less.
It would have felt less episodical, and like I feel like that would have been such an easy, and that would have felt more once again like season 1, where it's like you're trying to have this like mystery, you know, go fight some baddies, and just it's not gangster. It's Western.
Okay, fan edit. We're gonna take that, and we're gonna move it to the end.
Once again, just like you said, like who doesn't want to see someone going in and shooting up a bunch of stormtroopers? There's your big finale.
Yeah.
Not genociding Hutts, but like
do that in the middle.
Throw that in. Go kill the twins, or like they can die. That's fine.
They showed them dying.
Yeah.
There is no oh, they lived.
Yeah,
no,
I like that.
If you need the New Republic to come in, it should have been on that mansion. Like, if that's where you're needing your firepower, they have jurisdiction. You know, like that would have felt cohesive, like one big plot, and like.
Oh, that's a brilliant change.
I feel like that would have been so much, and an easy one too, for them to have drawn that out. And also, you would have had a lot more of these Grogu Rhoda moments, and then like Mando Rhoda, and like, because I enjoyed him a lot. I was like, I wanted him throughout the entire thing, and just have more of that, because it felt like Mando's conflict of do I take him back or do I not was so brief. Oh, I know what someone said. One of the people I was with, and I completely agree because I couldn't put my finger on it. Decisions were made for the characters. The characters didn't make decisions. Like when Mando first goes to the planet at the very beginning with Zeb, he didn't, like, Zeb was like, so are you going to take it? And he's like, I don't know. And then they just go. And I'm like, so did you decide to do this, or did you just? And that kind of felt pretty consistent throughout the entire thing of like, they're like, well, I guess we're doing this, as opposed to like making character choices. And like,
I guess a defense of that would be that the mantra of Star Wars is they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, therefore they became heroes, you know? So maybe they were maybe not very eloquently or skilled, but maybe that's what they were trying to do.
They
is
might have,
like,
yeah.
There's no real option here. I just got to keep. Oh, I guess this is. Okay. I believe Rhoda. Okay, I believe. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe they were
it
tapping
felt
into
very
that,
inorganic. It was done poorly. If they're going to, because I think they've done that with him in the past, where it's just like, oh, I guess that's what I'm doing because I have no. But we've seen Mando's morals throughout it, and so like, I wanted him to make choices and to be a person, and he felt like an NPC that we were watching. Like, he felt like it was almost like a self-insert where he's such of a blank slate in this film compared to the others that you're just supposed to self-insert. So you give him the personality. He doesn't have the personality.
Would this movie make a great video game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that was part of the impetus of, okay, we need video game material. You know, we need ride material. We need fun adventures that are going to get kids into the theater and sell toys and sell custom popcorn buckets. And we went, you know, it's been 7 years. They've mentioned all these other movies that haven't happened. Grogu was lightning in a bottle from a marketing standpoint, and let's go have fun in the movie theater with these characters that are kind of the most proven characters we have right now. So, you know, my takeaway is obviously it was fun. It was unimportant. It will only make sense if they stay on this path and not freak out. We had a little bet going at work of what the box office would be, and we wrote down the Solo line, which opened on the same weekend, and the Solo line was 103 million for the 4-day weekend, and so everybody put in their bets of what this box office was going to be at the end of the 4-day weekend. I said 94 million. I lost. Mark Kogan, friend of Horses on Film, got it to the dollar. Nailed it at $100 million for the 4-day weekend. And there's our little board there.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, and I think that's okay. Hang on, I'll pull it back up. I think that's what we're looking at here. You know, we're looking at a $100 million opening for a $175 million Star Wars film. This is maybe something we haven't seen before, but everyone's going to frame it as a failure. Everyone's going to frame it as a flop. You know, we forget that Solo was like, I mean, they had to go back and shoot it again. It was like close to $400 million investment. We're not looking at that here. We're looking at something quick, simple, fun, adventure. Like I said, unimportant. So,
yeah.
You know, and
personally, I loved it. Like I said, you mentioned it was a really good video game movie. I said this when we did the prequels. Some of the best Star Wars is hitting those video game level moments.
Entertain
because
me.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll watch it in its entirety, though. If I watch it again, I'll probably watch it almost like episodes, because it does kind of, the pacing's so disjointed. I might go back and watch the middle, and then I'll watch the end, you know.
Well,
I would probably... I'm watching it. I know
you got me already thinking about fan edits. You got me already.
I know
thinking about where to cut.
I think that would have been such a good overarching story, because that's what it felt like we were missing, was a through line. Almost.
And that's also a bit of like that kind of mystery box thing where it's like literally we have a playing card with a question mark. This should be the moment when we fill in this question mark. And is the question mark someone on the inside, you know, at some
that
point.
Felt
is it
big.
Sigourney Weaver? Is it, you know, like where, you know, is it Rhoda? It was, you know, like
it felt
who do we
so
trust?
big, and then they resolved it so quickly, and I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, that's maybe
I guess
the biggest not failure, but that's the biggest kind of like
tweak I would make.
Yeah,
that should have been the end piece to go up. It's this person.
Because it felt a lot bigger, because they're like, no one's seen this guy's face, and Amanda's like, yeah, give me 5 minutes. First planet I go to, second person I meet, it'll be this guy. And I would have been okay with that if he didn't figure out that that's who it was.
Who apparently that character has shown up in the series before as part of the at one point all the kind of Imperial people have a hologram conference call, and he's one of the guys. So he's not a totally out of nowhere character. That said, did we care about him in that moment? Do we care about him still? No. You know, the only thing he really provided, I suppose, is he provided the intel that the Hutts were double crossing them the whole time. But that all happens off camera.
Untapped potential. As a villain.
Yeah. Definitely. And I'm going to miss the Hutts, actually, because they had such potential as villains. Not, you know, not Darth Vader level villains, but they were really good B-level, you know, gangsters. And I'm going to miss them. I'm actually really curious to see if they do, you know, a Mandalorian Grogu 2 or something in that timeline. Who fills that void? Because that's where they came from. They filled the void that was Jabba the Hutt.
I mean, Star Wars is really never short of villains.
What fills that void?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is true.
Yeah, there will be other, but you're right. They are fun. They are fun little creepy. There's something very creepy about them. You know, the brother and sister, and they're always like yin yanged around each other, and like they had a lot of personality, not unlike Jabba. It'll be interesting. Sorry,
and dabble with the idea of brother sister loving.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been so interesting if only one escaped. Like, I feel like that would have been an even like
one gets away and the other one dies, and it's you killed my twin sister. Yeah, that's something.
So it felt like it was a little missed opportunity there.
You can get into that weird where it's like they have like a stand-in for the other one because they're like slowly like losing their mind, or they constantly talk because they're so used to it, but they're not there.
Right, they're like connected. But
that would actually probably be more interesting than this whole film, to be honest.
This film is, I mean, we've had a pretty good discussion about it, but it's not wrought with interesting.
It's empty calories, so I'm okay with that. But don't build it up that Star Wars in theaters or this event thing is going to change how things work. And I'm not the one who says this. This is the marketing department.
This is what I'm just saying. They try to pull that off.
When I show up and it's just 4 episodes of the TV series in a $15-$20 movie ticket trench coat, and then I go, well, that's not what you told me Star Wars is in theaters.
Well, and Star Wars fans would have done it. If you told us that this was like, we're taking the first 4 episodes of season 4 and putting them into one film, like come out to the cinemas, people would have gone.
I would have gone.
Movie is exactly like the animated Clone Wars movie is exactly that. And they didn't
made an
it was
event
in theater,
of it.
and they sold it as that pretty much, and no one had an issue with it.
This is what I'm saying. They're trying to pull that off as the this is what we're doing now. And
if you wanted to know,
did they pull it off?
Disney, that's the problem with Disney.
Yeah.
You told me I needed Disney Plus, and you told me all this stuff, and then when I listened to you and got disappointed because what you told me does not gel with what I just saw, that's not my fault. Like, it's not. You said these are expectations, and I went, okay, I'll have that expectation. And then you went, nah, JK. And I went, okay. There's one solid episode in this whole thing, and I'm sure with a little more elbow grease and maybe a little less nostalgia bait throughout the whole thing, it would have been a stellar movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the first about 20 minutes of this film. I actually legitimately went, okay, we got something where, and it felt, the first 20 minutes of this film did not feel like a television show. You know, that's your high budget, whatever. And then the minute the huts got introduced, the thing just slows to a crawl. Like it just, why get Jeremy Allen White to voice a dude? I could not tell it was him. If I didn't know, I wouldn't have known.
Like they pitch him down and kind of give him a little reverb, and it's weird.
What they did is they wanted to try to bring in the Bear fans. You're like, hey, here's your guy. Here it is. It's a marketing. Like this is the first time I felt that this was a bean counter decision, not a for the love of the art decision. And you can kind of feel it. There's highlights in this whole film. There's things in this film that I actually really enjoyed, but I do not feel that seeing it in theaters changed it versus seeing it on Disney Plus. Like
this would have been very well,
hugely received. Actually, I think
people would have loved it. Would have loved it, even if it was a movie event. Like, oh, we're not breaking it up into 4 episodes. It's like a movie event on Disney Plus, Mandalorian and Grogu. It would have been huge. People would have loved it. And then if they said, oh, and as a special treat for this weekend, it's going to be in theaters, people would have gone to the theaters.
And they've been doing that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they put Stranger Things in the theaters. You know?
And I do think that
The Boys was in the theaters.
Right.
Like this marketing thing that they've been doing is going to lose them week 1 box office sales futuristically.
They already lost it.
But I'm saying as it continues, because I know I'm disinclined, because I was you go at midnight the day a Star Wars film comes out type person. And now I'm like, we'll see when I can get out. Like it used to be, I made a point to do that. And this one was one where I was like, I need to see it as soon as possible, because this is going to be, because the way they sold it, this is going to be a big deal. And there's no way they're going to drop the ball because it has such a huge fan base. And then I went out and I was like, oh, this could have been an email. And so now I'm feeling just based off of how the marketing was. And so in the future, I feel like I won't be as inclined to be as dedicated to try to get there as soon as possible, because I keep getting things keep getting misrepresented, and I keep getting let down based off of how it's being sold to me within Star Wars.
I mean, I was actually very confused by the marketing of this movie. I literally couldn't tell what I was walking into. I didn't know, because you know, again, my thing about stop titling things after the character names. You know, I've said it a million times, and then this thing of like, oh, these posters are kind of cool. You know, and very comic booky, and like, you know, the font that they were using, and some of the looks of it, I was like, I don't know what I'm walking into. It was the most unsure I've ever been about what type of movie I was going to see. In the end, it ended up being kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be when I first heard it pitched, and I think the marketing was way off. Of, you know, because I think, like we just said, if they had marketed it as, hey, we took the 4th season, we crammed it into a movie runtime, and we're putting it in the theater, I would have been there opening screening. I would have had tickets for the following day. You know, absolutely. You know, again, I'm an easy target. I'm gonna go see a Star Wars in the movie theater if it's available. You know. But that said, it's just, I just feel like the marketing was so.
And I avoided all trailers. I avoided everything.
Yeah.
So my main marketing was just, this is going to be a film. Here are the posters. Get excited, because this is like the movie of the year for Star Wars fans.
And then
it was a bunch of episodes.
The next one is Starfighter. And what are we getting into now? Can we trust the marketing? Can we trust what it is? You know, where does it fit in? It's we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. With that, I think we've had a great discussion on the Mandalorian Grogu. We've had a lot of fun. I think we do need to wrap it up. Unfortunately, I think we could go on for another hour if we really wanted to, but we do have to start wrapping things up. So let's go around and talk about what's making us happy and where we can find people. Let me just go over here where my actual things are. Jess, let's start with you. Where can we find you? What's something that's making you happy right now?
You can find me on Song Swung Cosplay on Instagram. Oh, thanks, because I was really bad about that today. I had computer issues. And yeah, you can find me there. I post cosplay stuff and connected to Saber Guild and stuff like that. And what's making me happy is, besides having a day off today, which is so nice, I needed it, is being able to spend some of that with you guys, because I'm having a blast and talking about one of my favorite things, which is Star Wars, which I might have a lot of criticisms, but that doesn't mean I don't still love Star Wars so much. Yay.
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 Melanie, where can we find you? What's something that's making you happy?
You can find me on Instagram at Pieces of Melee. You can find me all around the internet, on YouTube, on many a podcast. And thing that making me happy is I'm still working on murals in the greater Tampa Bay area. So I am going crazy right now with those, in between it raining constantly. So it's hard to do a mural that's on the floor of a parking garage when it's raining. So it's not making, it makes me happy when I'm painting. Unfortunately, it makes me perturbed when it's raining. So yeah. Ta-da!
That's valid. That's valid.
Weather will do that.
Let's see. Weather will definitely do that. Yeah. Scott, where can we find you besides the other room over there?
Down the hall.
Breakfast Scotch National, where I take the news and I try to make it funny. We're having a really crazy moment in Alberta right now, so there's a lot to work with, but I wish there wasn't, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's usually Horses on Film with Dave and Cameron. We do that. Oddly enough, we're following this up over the weekend. Actually, literally yesterday. I don't talk about this because by the time these usually come out, the time. But I held a massive event yesterday. I was fun. Set up a bunch of computers and a bunch of Xboxes. We hooked them all together. It was actually a lot of fun. We had a bunch of people come out. Pizza, felt old school. Liked it. Got to play a bunch of games. It was pretty good. Dave's up, so that was fun. Yeah, it's been good.
It was great. I stopped in for an hour, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, and just like seeing people's reaction to games, especially so like Star Wars, the game industry, small g, big I, has changed where everything needs to be safe and needs to turn back profit. But in the 90s and 2000s, before we had this language of what games are, there was this idea that you could just do whatever, and it might make money and it might not, but we're having fun. And so half the games on the list are, Call of Duty and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of ones I choose because I curate for all these. I do it about every 3 months, where I curate a list, and every once in a while someone's like, "What is this?" You're like, "Oh, it's super cool." It's like we got into a game of Giants yesterday, which was like Monty Python Space Jawas versus Lord of the Rings magic elves versus a sumo wrestler. And it's such a weird, for the guys who made Earthworm Jim, like it's such a weird game that it came out in the middle of like this like creative period where we're just like, let's throw spaghetti. What if spaghetti was one of the teams? And like that kind of thing. And it was made for like, like probably like $500,000. So it didn't need to sell a lot to make a lot. And it was just like, let's make a crazy game that's fun and whatever. And so we got into that. It was actually a lot of fun. And
tabletop?
No, video games.
Really?
Yeah, it's super crazy. And so like it's stuff like that. Or we got into like Command and Conquer Renegade, which is like the Command and Conquer RTS games, which you play like a little soldier you build. So then you like, instead of building like a bunch of tanks, you actually use your money to buy a tank. You get in the tank and go to your opponent's base and blow up their base. And all those buildings, like the barracks from like from the game that you see from top down, you actually can go into, and there's like the unit quarters where people sleep in the kitchen and stuff. Like you can just kind of
cool.
It's and people don't know these games even exist anymore because large franchises keep sucking the air out of the creative room and trying to convince us that 4 episodes is a movie, shit like that. And like it's and so to be able to be like, no, this is just dumb. What are we doing? Well, you need to get this thing from here to here. You need to collect weird Smarties, and Smarties are like really big-headed dudes that love to drink, and as they drink, they have ideas about stuff for you, like guns or new spells, and that's the resource in this game. And then while you're doing this, there's a 40-foot tall sumo wrestler trying to eat you and stuff on the island. It's so weird.
I need to find this game.
Yeah, it came out in 2000. It's called Giant Citizen Kabuto. It's super good. But we're just playing StarCraft, original StarCraft Brood Wars. Like I love that stuff. This is stuff I grew up on, and when we get people come out who don't know this exists or don't know, because like Star Wars, gaming has so much to it that every once in a while you just hone in. And so every 3 months I curate a list. Oh, also the art style for Giant Citizen Kabuto is crazy. Like it's so good. It's colorful. It's fun. I actually highly recommend it. High Moon Studios, I'm pretty sure, is the one that did it, or Planet Moon. I can't remember. But like it's just fun. Yeah. So I highly recommend people go check out these older games. Maybe watch some older Star Wars stuff, like the Ewoks movies, which I recently heard count as movies.
Yes, please.
We'll do those.
Jeremy Sewell did music for this game? What
I'm telling you. Like, this is what? Yeah. It's like when I love MDK.
Oh my god.
MDK 2, I was playing, I'm from Southern Alberta, but MDK 2 I'm playing, which was made by BioWare here in Edmonton. And first place the aliens invade in MDK 2 was Edmonton. I was like, that's a weird choice. Why did we do that? Oh, because BioWare is in Edmonton, and this is a young me realizing that, games are being made in Canada. Hell, close to me. And like, it's little things like this. It's weird Canadian representation in a weird way. And I'm so in for it. And to be able to find people and have them share that with them is fantastic. I love it. So cool. Yeah, that's the stuff that makes me happy.
There we go.
I think Mel is next.
Excellent.
Like right there on my screen.
Cameron is next.
Where
can we find you, and what's making you happy?
Well, I'll say what's making me happy. I mean, we got to go to a Star Wars movie in the theater. That's amazing. I got to eat popcorn with Dave and watch a Star Wars movie. What could be better than that? My daughter's graduating from high school this week. It's one event after another. Yay! Amazing. Yeah. I don't know if I told you, this wasn't on air, but remember the Apple Store bricked my wife's phone and she lost everything.
Yep.
Somehow magically patience paid off, and her phone that is bricked in a drawer somewhere actually backed up to the cloud on its own, and her new phone was restored everything, and she got everything back. So
oh my god, that
was like a huge cause for celebration. I'm not sleeping on the couch anymore, so that's great. Oh my gosh. The show that I'm prepping now goes to camera on Thursday, so it's a little bit crazy right now, but it's very exciting to get that up and running, and eventually that'll be on MGM Plus for everyone to enjoy. And then where can you find me? I'm on Horses on Film. We're going through the top 100 westerns, and we're loving it. So that's youtube.com /Horses on Film. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're getting lots of really great feedback, and we're knocking out some bonus episodes of things that are off the list, and things are airing, and we've got a lot in the can now. So even if the whole world shut down, we'd still have a good quarter of the list done already. So very cool. And then of course, I'm on letterboxd.com, Cameron Chapman, just watching movies and logging them and reviewing them. But lots out there to keep us happy, and Star Wars is a huge part of that for sure. So and so thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave, for squeezing in this bonus episode. I know you talked about it a long time ago, and the logistics of all of us seeing this movie on opening weekend, and I love this idea of doing a live bonus episode. The next one I think should be the Ewok movies. Why not?
Please. Let's do it.
Why not? Caravan of Courage.
If you can do the holiday special, we can do the Ewok movie.
100%.
For sure.
100%. And
it's weird. No one talks about the Ewok.
Come on.
No one talks about them at all. We talk about how bad the holiday special is, and I think that's the only reason why it's in conversation. But
people forget that at one point that's all we had. That's what Star Wars was these made for TV. Like, we could have continued on that journey and never got the prequels, never got any of this stuff. It could have just been
for TV movies like Mandalorian Grogu.
Exactly. Anyway. All right. Rest in peace, Marsha Lucas. And that's what it could have been.
As for me, you can find me all over the internet. You can find me, like these other guys, on Horses on Film, youtube.com/@horsesonfilm. For those who are watching this episode over on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS or somewhere else, hold on. You can find me at Scott's house.
Colliding.
He walked down the hall. What?
Suspension of disbelief is now broken, and we have to redo the whole episode.
Oh no!
Oh,
all right, let's go from the beginning.
Let's go. We can from the beginning, but and we'll do the beginning on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, youtube.com/@The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, where we talk Doctor Who. Melanie's on there. Jess is occasionally on there. We not nearly as much as we'd like her to be.
Yeah, sorry.
Subtle hint. You're busy.
I know. Busy. You're like, come back over.
But you can find, and then of course, in between all of that, if you're watching over on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, pop over to the Happiness Patrol's actual channel, youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show, where we do this sort of thing. We usually pre-record it Thursday, this coming Thursday, a couple of days away from now. Our second season launches with Back to the Future. So we did a whole season of Star Wars films, and now our second season is movies that make us happy, starting with Back to the Future. Next month, or the month after that, is Labyrinth, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're all over the board on stuff. I'm going to get you, sucker.
Hell yeah.
Melanie's waiting for us to see that. So definitely give us a subscribe. Hit the bell if you want, but you don't have to. As long as you're subscribed, you'll be able to find us, get a hold of those episodes. Oh God, we got a terrifying. Oh, no, where'd he go?
It doesn't work.
Green screen. No. Green screen isn't working.
Green screen. Green go.
That's a new force ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Force hiding. Finally, you can find me on my own channel, youtube.com/@theRatHole, DOTCA. That's theRatHole.ca. But YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. Thank you guys so much for go away. Not you out there. But
there's the real one. Yay.
The banner. There's Grogu. There's Grogu. Grogu just magically transported from hiding in Cam's to Melanie's.
Yep.
He's a star, guys. He's a movie star. Put his feet at Grauman's Chinese Theater. Like, let's do it. He's the biggest movie star of 2026. I love it.
True.
Yeah.
Oscar, where's Oscar?
No matter what else, that's true.
Where's Oscar for Grogu?
Hashtag Oscar for Grogu.
Yeah.
But with that having been said, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put this up here. We're gonna bring this show to a close with a little bit of traditional kazoo. And hope that Disney does not sue us.